In this video, I'm going to walk through 3 different ad account structures that are crushing it on Facebook ads right now. I'm going to explain the structure, the setup, so you can use it for your ad account. And as you can see, these are ad accounts that are varying in really high ad spend, moderate high ad spend, and then again, fairly moderately high ad spend here, but all of them have a really solid ROAS in the context of each of these businesses. These are all profitable return on ad spends here. That being said, let's dive into the first ad account structure here. And this is going to be the more complex structure, and I'll explain the business model that this is best for. If you are heavy on finance and you need to understand what your gross contribution profit is per month, then this is going to be for you. And the reason why is because there's a level of intentionality that's baked around margins here. And so let me explain what this looks like. The first thing is we have a cost cap campaign. This is primarily just for efficiency, but you'll see this first campaign, it spent 98K, has a 3.8 return on ad spend. So with cost cap campaigns, essentially what they are is it's a regular sales campaign, but all you do is you apply a cost cap goal. And essentially this is a different bid strategy. Usually you're going to get a really good return on ad spend on these campaigns, but they're not very scalable. And the reason why is because if I say I want a cost per purchase at $20, Meta is going to say, hey, we can't get you $20 cost per purchases always. There's going to be a cap before you have to increase your cost per purchase goal. So that's kind of what we've ran into is we have a really great, it's actually the best return on ad spend in the whole ad account, but we're kind of capped around 100K in spend here, which is decent. It's not nothing, but it's pretty decent. And so you will run into a cap here before you have to increase your cost per result goal. And in result, you're going to get more spend, yes, but your return on ad spend is going to go down. So number one is we have a cost cap goal and a cost cap campaign. That's the first campaign. The way we set this up is we start this campaign usually 1 to 2 times my cost per acquisition. So if a business says, hey, we need to be getting customers at $40 per cost per acquisition, or we need a $40 cost per purchase, we are going to increase it to $60 or $80. The reason why is because if you leave it at 40 from the start, what I've found is this campaign is simply not going to spend. We have to give this campaign enough baseline data before Facebook ads can start to learn and understand who to target, who's most likely to become these purchases at the highest rate and at the cheapest cost. And if we're not giving it enough data up front, they'll never be able to achieve that. You'll never be able to scale. And so I usually give them enough breathing room, usually 1.5 to 2 times my CPA goal. After I have that, we don't leave it there. We start to decrease it. So let's say that the goal was $40. I'm going to start it at 60. As I start to get spend in, if Facebook ads is getting me a cost per result at, let's just say $50 over the next week, I'm going to decrease it to $50. And if they keep spending my budget in full, I'm going to keep doing this process where I shrink this down to 45 or 40 or whatever. So that's how that's going to work. So number one, cost cap goal. Number two, pretty standard. We are going to have a retargeting campaign, and that is this one right here. You'll see really good ROAS on this guy. It doesn't spend the most. Realistically, your retargeting budget shouldn't spend the most because a lot of your campaigns up here are going to do some level of retargeting anyways. And so you don't want to over-index your whole ad account on retargeting. New customer acquisition is how you grow a business. But for some business models, you will need to intentionally retarget based on your sales cycle and the nature of your product. So that's what we have for this brand right here. And not most of our budget goes here. A very small amount in proportion to our overall budget is going here. And we have 3 main audiences that we target. We target like a 30-day website traffic, 60 or 90-day cart abandoner for this campaign. And then we have social followers. These are all individual ad sets. Very important to know. And then last couple pieces, and this is the main part with this structure, is we have 2 testing campaigns. So the first testing campaign is going to be this guy right here. And you'll see we have a higher ROAS, lower spend on it. Well, why is that? It's because this is our lower margin campaign. So it's a traditional sales campaign. You're going to set it up just like you would set up any other campaign. Your goal is to target new customers. So it's a sales campaign. We let our audiences run on broad audience because the creative does the targeting, post Andromeda. And so we're continually uploading ad creative into this campaign. But the ads, or the products rather, that we're pushing in this are lower profit margin campaigns, or lower profit margin products, I should say. The reason why we want to split these, because this other one is the same exact one. The only difference is this one's higher margin and this one's lower margin. The reason we split these out is because to make, let's just say, $80 in profit on each of these is going to look massively different. For context, we need a 2.5 ROAS goal here to make the same amount of money we need to make here, but this needs to be at a 3 ROAS. And that's just because the product margins are different, right? So if you have different profit margins on products, you'll want to group those together as much as you can in a consolidated manner still. And so that's why we just have lower margin products, higher margin products. And so essentially we need a lower ROAS goal here to be just as profitable on a higher ROAS goal here. And that's why you see this is actually our winning campaign, but you wouldn't know that because the ROAS says it's lower. That doesn't matter because our actual profit on these products is a lot higher. So this campaign's actually doing better than this one. So that's hence why it has the majority of the budget as well. So that is campaign structure number 1. And again, this campaign structure is going to work really well if you understand finance well and you have very specific profit goals you need to hit and you have a high SKU store where you can actually segment high profit margin versus low profit margin products. Second campaign, very simple. It's actually just a catalog campaign. So for this client, getting ad creative is a real struggle. And post Andromeda, if you do not have ad creative in your ad account, there's almost no way to scale. There's almost no way you can be successful on Facebook ads if you're not consistently uploading ad creative. So for this particular client, we actually just have a catalog campaign. They have a store, I think it's like 20,000 SKUs. And so we have tons and tons and tons of product. That's actually really great product. But to get ad creative for each product that we actually want to advertise, it's a bit of a struggle. And so for them, for now at least, until we reach a point of diminishing returns, we only have one campaign and it's just a catalog campaign. These can do wonders, but I will preface this with, if you do not have optimized data sets, meaning that you've segmented your products into data sets that are profitable, unprofitable, most popular, bestsellers, whatever, you're not going to be successful here. You're going to waste a lot of money on underperforming products. The second thing we do is we optimize the feed with something called Marpipe. And so this is a lot of traditional catalog ads are just going to have a blank white background, and then your product is going to be in that blank white background as a flat lay image. It looks very boring, but they are still very effective. Marpipe is essentially going to add a design element to the background of that white background, and it's going to look at more engaging, which is going to increase your click-through rate theoretically, and it's going to give you a better result at the end of the day. And so those are the two things to be aware of. You can test them, but at the end of the day, if you don't have ad creative and you're struggling to get ad creative, start with this. Last but not least, this is more of a traditional structure for most clients, and most people are probably spending anywhere between, I'd say 20 to 50K in ad spend, a lot of businesses out there. And so as you can see, really good results here. But all this is this first campaign right here is all old winners. So we looked at all winners from the last year and we put them all in one campaign because we wanted to see how much more life they have in them. At the end of last year, we noticed they started to fatigue during Q4, but we wanted to see if these could resurface in Q1, Q2 of this year. So we took all winners that were not Black Friday, Cyber Monday ads, and we put them into a campaign. And I mean, as you can see, they're doing really well. It's actually the best campaign still. The second campaign is essentially, it's another sales campaign, broad targeting at the ad set level. We're targeting the US, and we have no major exclusions. So we're going to be doing prospecting and retargeting, meaning we're going to go after new customers and existing customers or people who have just been introduced to the brand in the past. What we're doing here is we're targeting, and this is a video for another time where I can dive into how to actually structure a sales campaign and how to fold in ad creative strategically at the ad set level, how to test various personas and what that looks like inside of an actual campaign. But essentially all you need to know is each ad set is going to be targeting a specific persona or a different angle within that persona. So for example, let's say we have a bloating supplement, right? We can target persona 1 being dads, because dads or men can use a debloating supplement. And then persona 2 is women. Well, let's just use the women persona. We can speak to the angle of women who go to the gym and who are self-conscious about their bloating. We could talk about women who hate the way they look right after they eat because they bloat. And so we can use this product and those angles within that persona within various ad sets. And so I'm not going to get super deep down there. I'll go into that in a separate video, but each persona is going to get its own ad set. And then based on that ad set and who it is you're trying to target within that ad set, all of your ads are going to be relevant to that specific persona. So again, the gym goer or whatever, we're going to speak to her. All those ads are going to be other gym people who have struggled with this and who have overcame it with our product, right? They're all going to be relevant. And so, and I say multiple formats here because you can test video, you can test static, you can test GIF formats. All those things are going to work. You can even test the AI video stuff if you really want to. So all those are going to work there. And then last but not least is we have the catalog, which again, catalog makes sense for almost every business. I've had it work pretty much consistently and just test it for your own ad account. But really, these three structures are going to crush. Test one of them. I'm sure you'll find success. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I'll preface these structures will not work if your creative is poor. And before that, if you have a poor product or service and you're trying to run ads and scale ads, ad spend is only going to expose your business model, either your product or your service. And so if you don't have a great product, you need to look at the feedback, or same thing, if you don't have a great service, you need to take customer feedback seriously. And before you go and try to capture some arbitrage opportunity on Facebook with different structures, you need to take a better look at that and or the economics of your business. Because if you're requiring a 5 return on ad spend to be successful, there's a very low likelihood that you'll ever be able to scale. So hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.